Jayden Daniels from the LSU Tigers, 6'4", 210. I have this as a +2, draft at all costs, red star.
Oh, he dropped it.
Red star!
Played college football at Arizona State and LSU, won the Heisman Trophy, various other awards, threw for 3,800 yards, 40 touchdowns, 1,100 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns. He's got arm talent, both in deep balls, kind of touchdown throws. He's got the touch in the red zone when it's more of a kind of shorter field. There was a nice throw to the corner against Grambling State. He could be George Pickens' best friend if it was kind of go routes and that kind of really deep ball. His placement seems to be pretty good. In terms of rushing, he's got a bit of wiggle, he's got a bit of burst, he's got kind of solid mechanics generally on his throws. Seems to have quick decision making, full field reads, as much as you can kind of assess that from watching the tape that we have available to us. Seems quite hard to tackle on rushing plays, throws with touch on crosses, puts the team on his back. We'll talk in a few weeks about Malik Neighbors and how good of a wide receiver he is, but it's been some of the throws and the touch from this guy we're talking about now. He'd walk into Pittsburgh tomorrow and be QB1.
Jayden Daniels, QB1 of the Pittsburgh Steelers, according to Kets. Right, that on the headline.
He would be.
I agree with that.
I agree as well.
Cons, he didn't see an Alabama safety deep on one of the plays and threw into double coverage. So in terms of vision, that's something to keep an eye on. There's some inaccurate, kind of more wild throws on tape when he was under significant pressure. I don't think he necessarily had the best O-line either. I think most of these quarterbacks had somewhat questionable O-lines some of the time. And some of those kind of wild throws made life quite difficult for receivers. But that was tending to be when he was chasing the game. But look at his statistics. He's put together some really good seasons. 3,800 yards. He's got the rushing ability. He's got the passing ability that I think you need in the modern NFL. Heisman in 2023. If you look at his overall kind of college career, you're talking 953 completions, 12,700 yards, interception rate of 89 touchdowns compared to 20 interceptions, and a passer rating of 158.4. So, which improved at LSU compared to what it was at Arizona State. So I feel like this guy is kind of the well-rounded guy that I would be banging the table for. And if I'm drafting down from number 1, this would be my pick of who I would take at 2 or 3.
What weight did you say?
Got him as 6'4", 210.
That's what I've got.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Is
I've
that
got, yeah.
weight right? He doesn't look 210.
Kind of does.
No, I'm not sure he does.
He looks like a very slender dude.
He looks very slender. I think he's less than 210.
Oh, sorry, you're saying less. Oh, I thought you were saying
I
even
think
more.
I think they've weighed him
Right.
with his clothes on,
Possible.
with loads of like nickels and dimes in his pockets.
210 soaking wet.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what he weighs at the combine because he looks slight to me. He doesn't look like a 210 guy.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Okay, so PFF offensive grade 94.7. He's number 1 overall in the PFF college grading system. Passing grade 92, which is 3rd overall. Adjusted completion percentage 79.6 in 2023. That's humongous. His passing grade did drop against better teams, which is a sign of how he's affected by the rush. But the offensive grade is still high because he rushes to compensate. So this guy is the classic dual threat. I think you mentioned, didn't you, Kets, 40 touchdowns, 4 picks in 23. That's awesome. Now, this is a Kenny Pickett career arc. Really hit form in 23. But he's had steady improvement every year. Played for 5 years, as you said, 3 years at Arizona State, getting better every year. But the completion percentage has always been in the right area. 2020 was his worst, 58%. The rest, all 60s, and then in 23 hit 71% in non-adjusted, so not taking out drops. Do you think he's a dual threat, right? This guy,
Yeah,
dual threat. He's like a dual threat like Lamar, but I would argue he's more accurate than Lamar.
Yeah,
What do you think?
To me, he's the ultimate dual threat. Lamar is a run-first quarterback in my mind. He's your prototype of running quarterback. This is the dual threat guy. This is a guy who's as good in the passing game. Well, we'll get to it maybe, but has got the skills in the passing game and in the running game, right? Maybe he's not a Lamar level athlete, but he's on that scope, right?
Yeah, he's somewhere there. He's like, if you turn down the athletic, like running like an elf, like a gazelle through like a kind of weird forest scenario, and just take it down to like a guy that's good at running. His anticipatory passing over the middle this isn't just a guy that runs and's got a big arm. Like, he's making really amazing like timing passes, hitting like over the middle throws, middle field open. This guy can actually pass it. He's not just a runner. He joined a special club this year in college, 10,000 pass yards and 2,000 rush yards in college. I'm incredibly impressed by this guy. I've got him as a priority target, which is a +1. So I was close with you, Kets. I did considered putting this guy as my red star because he's so good.
Could you? Is there anything that was the reason that you didn't? Is there anything that you didn't like?
I don't like his size.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about the weight thing. I really don't think he's as big as he's. Did you watch the Alabama game? He took an absolute pounding. Like Dallas Turner, who's going to be like edge 1, by the way, in this edge club. He knocked him out. I mean, he knocked him out of the game, and I'm not sure he can protect himself. So there's risks that he might have a very short career, which is a shame. So he needs to learn to protect himself, how to go down, how to protect the football, how to protect his brain, for one thing. And he put 20 pounds on for the 23 season, and he still looks slight. So is he maxed out? So I do think he's a development prospect, but he's got amazing upside. I think you need a playbook ready to go for him, and you probably want to sit him behind an incumbent. You don't want to do an Anthony Richardson and just throw him out there and get him injured. A couple of other things I think he bails under pressure, maybe a little bit too much. So that's something you're going to have to watch out for. I don't think it's terrible, but I think that he's got that in his locker. And I think if he could do a Bryce Young and go to a bad team and get completely pressured out and you don't see his skills, you don't see his passing skills, and also the classic thing, all the kids now in college, they're shotgun only passes, which could be a problem. You know, if you take the Steelers are going to want him to play under center, can he do it? I've got no idea. The lot of the cover zero style defenses, that RB exchange needs to happen closer to the line of scrimmage to allow the quick out to the flat, so that your receiver and the ball's out fast and you can get some progress in that flat zone that the defenses are offering up. If you're in shotgun, it's a harder pass. It takes longer. The DB has got longer to get there. So can he have immediate success in a rope-a-dope offense? I'm not sure. I think if he went to like same as Williams, if he went to Miami or another team that's got an amazing offense, I think he's going to thrive. I think he might struggle at the Panthers or. Yeah.
I want to preface this by saying I have him as a +1 priority as well. I would love for him to try out as the Steelers QB. That would be great. I think it'd be awesome. I think when you just watch the tape, it's almost like he's just unlocked the deep ball, right? The dude's just powering, pinpoint accurate passes to dudes that are like 3 yards ahead of the defense for some reason, 40 yards downfield, just over and over again. I don't know what it is. He just figured it out. He'd cracked the code. He'd broken the matrix. And I think a lot of that might be to do with the fact that he has such a great rushing skill set. He does look like a running back out there, apart from his frame. Very twitchy movement. The way he gets his foot in the ground changes. It's all that great stuff. But like you say, he doesn't have the build of a Cam or an A-Rich or those guys that I would feel a bit
Lamar
better
Hurts
about.
even.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And we saw what happened to Richardson in year 1 with that build. So I am a little bit fearful for Jayden Daniels. But what concerns me almost more than that, and again, this is me playing a little bit of devil's advocate because I do like him and I would take him. I didn't see much, and maybe I'll come back to you on this, Kets, because you mentioned it. I didn't see much in the way of full field reading. I sort of saw a lot of half field reads. He wasn't really snapping his head to the third read much. It felt like because of his rushing ability, and maybe this is to his credit, not necessarily a bad thing in college, but it felt like a lot of 1-2, okay, tuck and run to me. Maybe, I don't know, the from Gav maybe suggests that he disagrees.
No, that was that. I agree with you,
sorry.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
I think he throws his receivers open. Much better than Pickett. He had 2 as Ketz mentioned, he had 2 receivers go 1,000+ yards in college. You don't do that through actually. And Neighbors is the all-time receiving yards leader at LSU this year. That's beating Jamar Chase. That's beating Justin Jefferson. That's beating Odell Beckham. The guy's going as a wide receiver 2 in most mock drafts behind Marvin Harrison Jr. And the guy's going top 6. I just think he's got good eyes and he's a processor, but maybe his plays are quick strike, release to first read, but he's good at that. Like he's got that timing based thing down. So, but that like say Matt Corral, that's all he could do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all he was, and that's why he's not thrived. I think with Daniels, he can do like a half field read and spot reads, but if he does that, he gets the completion. So I think you do need to contain him to make him stay in the pocket a little bit longer. I do think there's a risk of him being a bailer, as you say.
Yeah.
But he's pretty composed there. I mean, he's got pretty good pocket movement. I'd like to see him step up and establish his throwing base more than his like willingness to run. You want him to see him calm him down a little bit, you know?
Yeah, just want to see him use all the tools in the toolbox, right? I mean, he's got... I think he's so far ahead of where a lot of these guys are already, just in the fact that he already looks like a developed deep passer, and he's already got this running game. I mean, that's already...
I don't think it's the deep pass. I think it's the anticipatory pass that makes him intriguing.
See, I don't know if I agree with that, because...
you don't get that. I'll just finish my point.
Yeah,
you don't get that. Sorry. You don't get that with a running QB very often. It's an interesting combo. Like Lamar's got the deep ball and the run game. This guy's got the anticipatory stuff, the first read stuff, the quick game stuff, and the run game. It's an interesting combo that's quite rare.
Yeah, I don't want to go too hard in on this because, as I say, my opinions are going to develop on these guys as the process goes on. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe I just wasn't seeing that short field stuff as much. I mean, it felt a little bit more like there was some inaccuracies there. Some of the not that they ran a lot of it, but some of the short dump offs to the bubbles. I don't know, but
it's not really the dump offs. It's the stuff over the middle. It's the intermediate range. It's the crosses, the timing window stuff.
That felt lacking in accuracy on the ones that but maybe I don't know. Maybe there's some more stuff in the intermediate. I don't know.
I do agree. The short to intermediate passing game is my biggest concern about him.
Not a rhythm thrower is what I mean. Sorry, yeah, but please continue.
Yeah, he's definitely got the anticipatory side of things, as Gav said. He's got the deep ball, and I think that opens up different areas of his game. He's got the rushing threat, which opens up different areas of the game. If you put two guys at the back and really try and clamp down on, if you do sort of cover 3, cover 4, really test him over the middle, that would be the kind of game I would be most fearful of watching him play. But the other thing is, if you take too many men outside the box, I love him because he poses so many kind of different challenges for a defensive coordinator to figure out. Because how do you stop the deep ball, the rushing game? How do you kind of make him pass in that short to intermediate area and lock the deep ball down, but also lock enough of the near side line of scrimmage field down that all he's got is the middle? And then it's like, okay, you go and beat us then. There is that inaccuracies. So if he was playing against, I don't know, like a Ravens or someone that has a really good coverage linebacker type core, I'd be slightly concerned because they're good against the run. They've got that sort of team. I'd love to see him play the Ravens and go, okay, yeah, he can beat them, we'll draft him. That would be my biggest concern, just with the rushing, the coverage over the middle, and then the deep ball. If you can shut all of that down, can he just beat you with 6-yard throws?
I don't know, guys. His NFL passer rating between the numbers at the 10 to 19 yard range is 136. 6 TDs, one. I think the middle field is his area.
I never saw him throw. Okay, I need to watch a bit more then. To me, he felt like a guy who. I mean, his big play rate, what is it? 8.4%?
Yeah, he's got
dude's like booming it down the field constantly.
Yeah, I think he needs to go back. I think he's peppering it over the middle with extreme accuracy. Is what intrigued me, and
there's just something about the fact that he leads every statistical category this year. He's gone from scoring 17 touchdowns in 2022 to 40 this year. It's, don't be wrong, incredible work from him. There's something in that. Players don't make that leap. There's an offensive element to that, and it's about passing. What is him and what is in the offense is
the passing depth grade on PFF. Deep, which is 20 plus yards, 99.2. Right, it doesn't get much better than that. Medium, 10 to 19, which is what we're talking about here, 89.4. Short, 70.7, and that ties in. I don't think his short touch game is there. But it's still good. I mean, 70 is fine. And then behind the line of scrimmage, which is swing passes and dump offs, 76.5. So that's fine. But it does show that he's more comfortable slinging it deep. But most QBs seem to have a better deep passing rating than a medium. But his medium's like nearly 90 as well. I mean, I do think he's got it.
Yeah. I mean, passing yards, 11.7 yards per attempt, rushing yards 8.4 yards per attempt. This man is a walking first down.
Yeah. So, hang on. Wait, Mark. I haven't got your grade. So, have you spoken about this dude yet?
I haven't, no. Three areas of concern for me. The concern, two of which have already been brought up. The concern that this could be a Kenny Pickett-style anomaly for a season, although, as you say, he has steadily improved. The concern that he could get injured early on, a la Anthony Richardson, because of his size. And the concern that there are a few people out there who are wondering if his game will transition properly into the NFL. I don't care about any of that. This man is my red star.
Red star!
Yes.
I absolutely loved watching this dude. Oh my goodness. Super speed, incredible. I thought his accuracy down the field was absolutely superb. Some of the balls he was threading through were absolutely unbelievable. What I can recommend is go watch the game against Alabama. I don't know if anyone watched the Alabama tape. The end of the first half, the touchdown he makes on that. How does he find that gap? The gap that he finds in there between to place it just behind the receiver, so he can make the grab, but not have to compete with the defensive back for it. The absolute perfect velocity on that ball is just something unreal.
I don't think Lamar can make that pass.
No, I don't think he could. I absolutely don't think he could.
The guy that's getting comped looks like Lamar. He throws those tight window throws better than Lamar's could even dream of.
Exactly, absolutely. I think he's got the calmness that you were talking about with Caleb Williams, Gav. I think there is a calmness to his game. He's shown that he can put long yardage drives together. The big example was actually in 2022 against Florida State, 99-yard drive at the end of the game to get the win on that. Just absolutely, game tying drive. Sorry, but still, absolutely, really, really impressive stuff. And that was in 2022, and he's just more improved through that. And he's having to. I like the fact that he's having to pass a lot, get on the field a lot, and he's having to do a lot because the LSU defense is so bad that they're keeping him on the field. So this is a guy who's seeing a lot of snaps because he's not getting any help from the rest of his team, which is great. It's more experience for him, I think. I'm just so in on this dude. I can't even begin to describe how much I have sort of been umming and ahhing about. Maybe this is the better number one pick. I'm not entirely sure. I think he should be the number two pick. I genuinely feel he's.
Agree.
I genuinely feel he's the second best QB in this draft, and I don't think it's very far off from number one either. I absolutely love this dude, and I am not concerned in the slightest about how this guy will transition to the NFL, because I think this dude is the NFL now. I think this sort of QB play is the sort of stuff that we're going to be seeing moving forward.
I absolutely agree with you. My one caveat is this is the reboot, like Steelers version guy, right? This is like you're bringing him in, you have to change everything.
It is.
Don't you think?
It is. Absolutely. Yes. But is he not a guy that's worth changing everything for?
Refers to himself as the kid. I don't necessarily know fully where that kind of self-marketing vibe came from, so we'll have a vibe check from Simon later on that. Writes BTTW on his wrist every Saturday. Blood's thicker than water, and it refers to his friends back home. It resonates with him being from a close-knit community, kind of a close-knit team. These are his brothers out there, and he talks about you can always kind of lean on your blood no matter what. He equally does have an introverted side as well. He likes evenings playing Madden or Fortnite on his Xbox. Religious guy. He's got the heart of a champion, is what his coach said to the ESPN broadcast crew, where he battled through a rib injury to lead the Tigers to victory.
The amount of people who say that he's a leader. He's a natural leader as well in that locker room. So many people having such good things to say about him. So in on this dude, and I'm really excited to see what he does in the NFL.
Should I put you as a +2?
That's a +2, red star. Yeah, absolutely.